Why After We Fell recast Landon and so many other characters. Why did the cast of After We Fell change, recasting Landon and other major characters in the After series? Many characters were surprisingly, and perhaps confusingly, recast for After We Fell, and there were a few factors that drove the cast shuffle for the third movie. Though the turbulent teen romance did retain its two lead lovers, complications caused many actors to be unable to participate in not only After We Fell, but also its sequel, After Ever Happy. Unfortunately, the After We Fell recast was outside any one person's control and will have a big impact on the rest of the film series. Indeed, the After We Fell cast actually faces quite a common issue in serial movie storytelling. With the recast of key characters like Carol, Christian, and Landon after the second movie in the After series, things can get confusing for some audiences. Here's why they changed the After We Collided cast and everything else viewers need to know about the After We Fell cast. COVID-19 and scheduling conflicts caused the After We Fell recasts. Indirect complications due to the COVID-19 pandemic were responsible for the mass recasting for After We Fell, changing the characters from the After We Collided cast. While the previous films were primarily shot in Atlanta, Georgia, filming for After We Fell took place in Sofia, Bulgaria, unfortunately right at the height of the pandemic. As international travel precautions and guidelines had greatly changed, many actors' ability to be on-site was impeded. Additionally, After We Fell was shot concurrently with After Ever Happy. This extended the film shoot schedule significantly, causing conflict with some actors' other projects. Despite problems that arose alongside the After cast changes, the franchise pushed through. Every recast character in After We Fell. In total, 5 major roles were changed for the cast of After We Fell, making serious deviations from the After We Collided cast. Landon Gibson, Hardin's considerate stepbrother, was originally played by Shane Paul McGee, but now is played by Chance Perdomo, who audiences will know from his time as one of chilling adventures of Sabrina's main characters, Ambrose. Candace King was replaced as publishing secretary Kimberly Vance by Ariel Kebbel. The character's husband, publishing mogul Christian Vance, is now played by Stephen Moyer, who played Bill Compton on True Blood, but was originally portrayed by Charlie Weber. Meanwhile, Selma Blair's role as Carol Young, Tessa's mother, was taken up by Mira Sorvino. As for Karima Westbrook's Karen Scott, Hardin's mother, she is now played by Frances Turner. Karen Scott was also previously played by Jennifer Beals, so it's not the first time After cast changes have happened. How the After We Fell cast changes were announced. Though most studios announce cast changes through press releases, the After We Fell team took a different route to announce the recasts. The After cast changes were announced via social media. The producers released a statement through the After Movie Instagram account to be able to reach the maximum number of fans of the movie. With over 3 million followers on the account, that was a safe bet to reach the movie's audience. It's there that it was made clear that filming during a pandemic in Bulgaria was the reason for most of the cast of After We Fell changes. The social media post encouraged fans to welcome the new cast members to the movies, though some fans replied with comments to the past that they would have rather waited for the cast to be available than for producers to have to recast. How the cast changes impacted After We Fell and After Everything. While the recasts in After We Fell were unavoidable, it did have a negative impact on the franchise overall, especially when rewatching the entire story from start to finish following the release of After Everything in 2023. Many fans online have pointed out that the continuous switching of actors and actresses in the casts of the After movies makes it significantly more difficult to become immersed in the story and disrupts the overall sense of continuity. None of the recasts can be said to have necessarily ruined After Ever Happy or After Everything. The final two after movies performed just as well as their predecessors. No fans were following the After franchise because of a specific name on the cast list after all. However, even though the After franchise continues to be going strong with new films on the horizon, it's clear from online discussions that many fans would find the story much more engaging if the cast had been consistent throughout. Were any of the new cast members preferred in their roles? While the recasts may have led to issues with immersion for fans rewatching all 5 After movies from start to finish, when After Ever Happy released in 2022, the new faces for old characters didn't seem to prompt much of a response. None of the new cast members stood out enough for fans or critics to celebrate their specific performances. At the same time, there weren't any reviews or online comments that suggested the replaced members of the cast of After We Fell were overly missed. This is relatively unsurprising, however. The After franchise has always been one which, for fans, was appealing because of its story more than its cast. Yes, there are undoubtedly those who preferred some of the former cast members compared to those who appeared in After Ever Happy or After Everything. Those who feel strongly about the recasts are, however, an incredibly quiet minority. When there have been discussion about the recasts, in After We Fell, the focus has more or less always seemed to be on how they impact the wider story, rather than on any specific character.